Excellent. Good. Well, lovely to see you all. Thanks for being good timekeepers. I really appreciate it, and really nice to have you with us. And very, very delighted to welcome back Richard. Richard's been a member of the team for a number of years, and he's trying to get things going again, like one or two other members of the team as well. So a few of us fall into that category actually, where we put things on the back burner for a period of time. And great thing about UW is that you can do that. You can put it down, pick it up as and when your circumstances permit. So nice to have you with us, Richard. And I did brief Richard earlier on that I was just going to maybe introduce him to you all, and maybe find out a little bit about Richard's background. So, Richard, just first things first. When did you join UW? Is it about 20 years now?
Yeah, Joe came round to my house August 2003.
Wow.
I remember it well.
And I'd already done Amway University and made a good job of that and left that behind. And Joe showed me a photostated a few pages of what Utility Warehouse did, flicked through, and I kind of stopped him early and said, well, where do I sign? It's just kind of, being service based, got stuck in straight away.
Yeah.
So yeah, August 2003, I'm sure it was.
Wow, so that's so well over 20 years now. Fantastic. And we're still here, we're still plodding away. And like me, like Joe, like Gary, like quite a few people in UW, we've sort of gone off to do other things and then come back again. But of course, each one of us has benefited because they've still kept paying us.
Yeah.
And someone said to me the other day, with residual income, it's not like working for a company where if you don't turn up for work, they're phoning you up to find out where you are. In all the time I wasn't doing it, I never had one phone call from UW to say, why aren't you working? They just kept sending me my commission on the 21st of every month. And you've had that experience. Gary's had that experience. Joe's had that experience. So it's fantastic, and here you are, Richard, you're sort of in a position to get things moving again. And I know that in the past you've been quite good at customer gathering and team building. You've sponsored a lot of people.
Yeah. If I'm to blow a trumpet, I guess, looking back, I have been. Yeah, and I don't know why I stopped. I just don't know why.
Well, sometimes life gets in the way, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you've come back at a great time, and things are really about to take off in the next few years. So it's a great position to be in. So, you've been good at sponsoring, you've been good at customer gathering, and it's just a question of just polishing up those skills again and getting cracking again. That's it.
To us, based on what I know, I call it a track. So that the process I follow for both recruiting and customer gathering, I don't see changing particularly too much to engage the potential more than myself. So I ask the questions, they do most of the talking, and they sell it to themselves.
Exactly.
So,
that's right. Yeah. Fantastic. So welcome back, Richard, and we're looking forward to seeing you regularly on the calls. Now, I was going to interview another new team member that only signed up at the weekend. She's a young mother with 3 small children, and she's just messaged me to say that one of them's giving her a bit of grief at the moment. She is hoping to come on the call a little bit later, so hopefully we can introduce you to her, because she's got quite an interesting story to share with us. But what I thought we'd do this evening, I thought we'd get things moving by let the latecomer in here, by showing a video that some of you will have already seen. Now, I make no apologies for sharing this with you, because I think it's really motivational. I've seen it probably about 7 or 8 times, and I never get fed up of watching it. I don't know if I could just have a quick show of hands. Who's seen the presentation, Do You Know What You Have by Ian Jones? Just put your hand up if you've seen that. Joe, you've seen it? Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. And it's probably some time since you've watched it, I would imagine, Joe.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show it again now. It lasts about just under 20 minutes. Okay. But I think it contains a really important message for all of us, and particularly for those of us that have sort of picked it up again. It will really resonate with us. So just give me a moment while I just get my screen sharing going. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pause it after a few seconds just to get some feedback on whether you can hear it okay or not. So here it comes.
Please welcome to the stage to close the day, Mr. Ian Jones.
Can everybody hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it loud enough?
Yeah, plenty.
Yeah. Okay. Great stuff. Here it comes.
It's a strange song for me, that one, you know, because I never wanted to join Utility Warehouse. In fact, I definitely wasn't going to join Utility Warehouse. Let me share a story with you. About 6.5 years ago, I moved my business up to the Midlands, and part of that, I sort of went out networking. And on my journeys around the Midlands doing a bit of business networking, I bumped into a distributor there, a guy some of you people will know, a chap called Chris Williams. And I got chatting to Chris Williams at one of these events, and he seemed like a nice chap, you know. He was just training for a marathon. I just run a marathon. We kind of got on quite well. And I told him a bit about my business. He told me a bit about his business. And it was all quite great. And I remember distinctly driving home from that first meeting with Chris, just kind of thinking to myself, why? You know, like, why? Why would anyone want to go knocking doors selling gas and electric for a living? You know, because it was this time of year, you know, we're getting into autumn, and when it was cold and wet and miserable, and I thought, he's such a nice guy. I thought, oh, you know, poor bloke. And I just bought a house, so I thought, well, I like him, you know, I'll help him out, I'll throw him a bone. I'll be a customer. And I can tell you, Chris, he was very, very grateful. And so Chris comes around and signs me up. And we just sort of sat there afterwards, and I said, Chris, I just don't, I don't kind of get it. You know, what actually is it that you do? Now, have any of you ever had anyone show the smallest bit of interest in the business opportunity? Yeah? You got quite excited, didn't you? Because you thought, I'm not asking them, they're asking me. Oh my God, this is so amazing. Did you get excited like that? Yeah? Yeah, you did, didn't you? Because I had one of those excited people right in front of me. And he went for it. He said, Ian, it's great. He said, for every customer you sign up, we're going to give you £20. I'm thinking, okay, you've been here an hour. I reckon I could knock on 10 doors a day. So 10 customers times 20 quid, that's 200 quid. Versus what I was getting with my marketing company, where I was charging myself out £1,000 a day to sit in a nice warm office where someone made me coffee. I'm going to level with you. I started to think, this guy's nuts. But Chris didn't let my lack of enthusiasm stop him. He carried on. He said, no, Ian, it's great because we're going to get you 100 customers. And I'm thinking, I'm not knocking on 100 doors. But he didn't. So he said, no, because it's great because you're going to get £500 a month. The more he talked, the crazier he looked. He said, no, because it doesn't stop there. Other smiley, happy people are going to join. And I'm thinking, now there's staff. And he said, no, because it's brilliant, because for every customer they gather, you can get up to 50p. I'll be honest with you, I'd switched off. In fact, I said to Chris, and we still laugh about this today, Chris, I wouldn't get out of bed for 50p. See, I just didn't get what he was trying to show me, and so I didn't join. But I kept going networking, and I kept bumping into Chris and another guy called Ashley Bayliss, who's another fellow senior group leader on the networking scene. And they were saying, look, Ian, I know you don't get it. I know you don't get it, but you'd like it. You should join. You'd like it, you should join. You know, I know you don't sort of see what we're doing, but you know, just come on, join. You should join. And in the end, I said, Chris, if I pay the joining fee, will you please leave me alone? Chris got out the form, I became a distributor. Now, unfortunately, what Chris Williams heard was, Chris, if I pay the joining fee, will you please teach me how to be as successful as you? And I mean, I'm joking here a bit, but, you know, I owe Chris Williams a lot. You know, he's been really helpful to me in my business, you know, with Utility Warehouse. And he did a master stroke. You know, this guy's cleverer than he looks. And he said to me, he appealed to my entrepreneurial nature. And he said to me, Ian, you've made the investment. You've become a distributor. Don't waste the investment. Oh. So go on the training. I was like, okay, I'll go on the training. So I went on the training, and do you know what? To my surprise, I had a fantastic time. It was brilliant. It was some great information. I learned a lot of stuff. There were some fabulous people there. There were some weird people too. And it's nice to see so many of you here. And so I came back from the training. Chris said, how was the training? How was it? I said, Chris, I'll level with you. It was pretty damn good. And he said, Ian, if you like the trainings, you're going to love the cops. I said, the what? He said, the cops. I said, the what? He said, the cops. I said, the what? He said, don't worry, I'll pick you up. So we go to this cop. Oh, wow. 4 to 5 times the size of the training. 4 to 5 times the amount of happy, smiley people. The big picture painted. Wow. This was amazing. I'm like, Chris, this is absolutely fabulous. He said, if you like cops, you wait till we get to the big events. I'm like, there's more. He said, there's more. I said, Chris, I'm picking you up. And so we started going to these events, you know, these big events, these cops, the trainings, and we all kept going together, a whole group of us. And it was at these events that I started to get a bit of an awakening to what we were actually involved in. And I've heard it from every top leader, but I heard it from Mr. Stephen Longworth first, where he said, become a student of the industry. And so I did. I started buying the books, I started buying the CDs, and then I did a novel thing. I listened to them and read them. And I really got stuck into personal development. You know, and like Fran Bourne was talking about earlier, you know, we're an army. We're the Purple Army. Every army needs body armor protection because it's a tough world out there. And this personal development stuff, you know, things like The One Thing, great books, great stuff, great knowledge is out there available to us. That is your personal protection, your personal body armor against the miserable gits out there. But you know, this awakening I was getting just couldn't have come at a better time for me. Because you see, the backstory to all this is I met the lady who's now my amazing wife, the wonderful Lisa, who, you know, to this day, she's still the most beautiful woman in the world to me, and I am blessed and honored to have her in my life. That's one for the yellows. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, without her, none of this would ever have happened. And in fact, if you're looking for a hero of our story, it's her. And, you know, we got married, which is great. And, you know, that's why I moved up to the Midlands. And, you know, like all good new husbands, I'd done the right thing. You know, I'd knocked her up. And, but the problem was, this amazing business I had, my wonderful career, was really starting to struggle in the recession. And I went from a 6-figure income to scratching around for £6 in what felt like a heartbeat. In fact, it was £7.23 an hour, working a night shift at Range Superstores. £7.23. So there I am. New husband. Expectant father. With a great big list of big mouth promises I have made that when I turned to look at a bank account, I quickly realized I could not fulfill. I don't mind sharing with you, friends. That fall, for me, became a very dark place. And the only light, the only hope in that darkness was this business. That light was far away at times. It flickered, I could hardly see it, but it was there. So answer this internally, because I have a question for you. Do you know what you have? Do you know what you have? Now take a quiz with me. This will be easy, so don't worry. I know it's late in the day. Option A or option B? Just let me know which you prefer, okay? So how about this one? We're going to have a limited income, which is option A, or option B, the income you dream of. Which do you prefer, A or B? See, I'm with you. Let's try this one. Option A, limited time with friends and family. Option B, unlimited time with your friends and family. Which do you prefer, A or B? B. I'm with you. Although I'm surprised at the overwhelming response there, because I have met some of your friends. But anyway, let's go for a home run here. Let's see if we can knock this out of the park. Okay, option A, retire washed up, half dead and half broke. Or option B, retire the next 5 years on your terms and your cash flow. Which do you prefer, A or B? B. Yeah, B. I am with you. You see, if you're working a job right now, that's okay. I respect that. Because you've got to feed the family and you've got to put a roof over their heads. And if you're running your own small business right now, I respect that too. But you've got to know that's just a job in disguise. And if you haven't figured that out yet, I hope for you, you wake up soon. But I respect it because I understand we've got to feed the family, we've got to keep roofs over our heads. But if you are putting more focus, not time, listen to the words, if you are putting more focus into building somebody else's goals and dreams, then I have to question, do you know what you have? I was very privileged. Just coming up this time last year, I got to go over to America, and I went to the Mastermind event. And it was fantastic, because not only did I get to go there with some of the top network marketers in our business, but some of the top network marketers from around the world. And it was a 3-day event. It was absolutely fantastic. There was amazing knowledge and information in the day. But you know what? At events like that, sometimes it's what happens around the event, not so much what happens in the event, which is where you see the magic. And that's certainly what I found. And we, were doing like all good Brits. We were networking hard in the bar. And we sat down with some of these guys. The one guy had over 1 million distributors in his downline. 1 million distributors in a business that spanned the globe. And these guys are asking about our business, saying, how does it work, what do you do, and everything else. And so we start telling them. We tell them about the scalability of our company, the size of our market share and opportunity. The fact our compensation plan pays to infinity. The fact that we're shareholders in the business and that our futures is protected and secured because we operate as a PLC. And these big hitters, these giants of the industry, sat there, eyes wide, jaw on the floor, because they could not believe how good we've got it. I'll ask it again. Do you know what you have? Let's think about what happens for most people, because I hear this all the time. Boss calls, customer calls in, needs a favor, needs you to work late, needs you to do something. Here's what happens. You cancel date night with the wife. You bring granny in to look after the kids or get a babysitter. You break promises to your children about the things you do with them. You do whatever it takes, bending over backwards to placate those people. We ask you for 3 to 5 hours a week, and you give us every excuse you can think of. Do you know what you have? I'll tell you what. Let's just put the house lights up for me. Ladies and gentlemen, would you all stand up, please? Please, everyone, just stand up, please. That'd be really great. Thanks. If the person next to you's fallen asleep, give them a nudge. That would really help. Everybody up. Thank you very much. That's great. See, our business changes lives. You've seen it from the people here today. Some of them at the start of their journey, some of them at the end of their journey. But all of us experiencing the true power of this industry. And all of us, not special. I'm not special. I'm just like you. I hate making phone calls. I hate the no's. I hate the rejection. I hate those know-it-alls. And I know you do too. I know you wouldn't dare admit it in a room like this, but I know you. I know you. I know you. And I know you do. But, and here is the kicker for those of you taking notes, but I will endure them. I'll endure the know-it-all. I'll nod, I'll smile. I'll endure the rejection. I'll endure the no's. And I'll endure picking up that 10-ton telephone when I don't want to. Because, like the people here, we just made a decision that we knew what we had. See, ladies and gentlemen, I've tried a job. Network marketing is better. I have tried a business. Network marketing is better. In fact, I don't care what you do right now, this is better. And what I'd like to hear from you, like Stephen Longworth talked about earlier, no limit attitude, I want to hear from you. If you think this is better, if you think this business, this opportunity with what we've got and where we're going is going to give you your hopes, your dreams, your goals and everything, I want to hear it right now. Let me hear it. Come on. Is this for you? Come on. Is this for you? Come on. Is this for you? Is this for you? Is it? Is it? Is it? Is it? Is it? Okay, stop. Sit down. Why'd I ask you to stop? Because I don't really care for all that rah-rah. Hooping and hollering. Because although it's fabulous, we both know that it is brief, momentary, and gone. Because that won't feel the same on Wednesday afternoon when it's just you and the phone. You don't need rah-rah. All you need, at some point, and I don't know when that's going to be for you. Might be tonight. Relaxing in the bath after a long day, taking in what's happened here today. Might be next Thursday afternoon when you're sat in work, all the noise going on, you're just looking around going, I can't be here in 5 years' time. Maybe it'll be in 2 weeks' time. Maybe in 2 months' time. I don't know. But at some time, all you need to do is to quietly, internally, and permanently make a change. Because if you will change, everything will change for you. Thank you.
Excellent, good stuff. I hope you enjoyed that. I know one or two of you I saw, I could see your faces through it. I could see one or two of you smiling and maybe identifying with some of the things that Ian said there. But I hope, like me, you found it quite an inspirational presentation. And maybe we could just invite a couple of comments, because it's always good to be interactive, isn't it? What stood out for you there that maybe you could take away from that presentation? Anything that you'd like to share with the rest of the group that Ian touched on in that presentation? Who'd like to
I think the commitment
comment?
that he showed.
Sorry,
and the
Gary, just
way
speak up a bit. Can't hear you, mate.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, just a bit muffled, that's all. Yep, carry on.
I just think the commitment that he showed, and the way that he came round to changing from not interested at all to just starting as a customer, and then he got into it and he just grew, and the support he got was a fantastic speaker.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Scott?
Option A or option B.
Yeah, that was quite powerful, wasn't it? Yeah.
And the do we know what we've got? The comparison compared to that to a full-time £10 an hour for a stroppy bus.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. So, it really stood out to me as well that, most people can only maybe do it very part-time, 5, 6, 7 hours a week, maybe. But what we need to do is put 100% into that time whilst we're working the business, and do our very best in the time that we've got available. Joe, please.
Yeah, the fact that he was in a dark place, and utility warehouse business was the flickering light. Sort of in some of what you were saying earlier, Phil.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. So good. Well done, everybody. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I'm glad to see that Angie's been able to join us now.
The fact that we can put this business down, pick it up, it's always there for you.
Sorry, Joe, we lost you there for a minute. I do apologise. Did I speak across you? I think you might have something wrong with your internet connection, Joe. Can everybody else hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
you did. But
Yeah,
can you not hear me?
Joe, yeah, we couldn't hear you there, Joe. Sorry, we lost you a bit, but
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah, back to normal. Yeah, I think I cut you off there. I do apologise.
That's okay. It's just the beauty of the business, as we said before, that it is something that is sustainable, and it's there for you as and when you need it. And really, as he said, do we really appreciate what we have?
Yeah, that's it. It's good to remind ourselves of what a great business this is. Okay, so I'm glad to see Angie's been able to join us now. Thank you very much, Angie. Nice to have you with us, your first team meeting with us. And I just thought I'd introduce you to everybody. We're a bit depleted tonight with numbers. We've had quite a few apologies, but that's okay because the meeting's being recorded. But just like to tell everybody how you got started with the UW.
So I only found out about UW in May when I moved house, and I was looking for a company to go with, and we picked them as our energy provider because it did come up with the best prices. And then the other day I was randomly on Facebook and somebody was advertising for a UW partner, and I went on the website and I looked into it, and it seemed really interesting. So that's how it all happened.
Yeah,
and I did think
good.
it would be a good, something good for me to do, as it is so flexible, and I'm already with them. I know how good they are already, so kind of made sense for me and my family.
Excellent. Well done. Yeah, so you joined on Saturday, and maybe you can just tell everybody what your background is, because you're in the educational business, aren't you?
I was an assistant head teacher a while back, and then I had kids and got long COVID, and that all went out the window. So since all of that, I've just been tutoring. I've got a small business where I'm tutoring.
Right.
So this will be like a second income stream for me now.
Yeah, very good. So you signed up on Saturday night, and what have you done so far? Because it's now Tuesday, so it's only 3 days. So I think you've done quite a few things already, haven't you?
Yep, I read one of Big Al's books. I've done all the training. I've started working on my first script, which I'm going to send to my family and friends. And yeah, I'm hoping by the end of this week I've got a few people on board.
Yeah, very good. Well, I went through the Fast Start plan with Angie yesterday, and showed her what she could earn in the first 30 days, and she's determined to get her first 6 customers and partner on board to become a QD star in the first month. And we do wish you every success, Angie. That's great. And
Thank you.
most of us on the call here have been in the business for a number of years. There's one or two new people here, so it's a bit of a mixture, but we're really happy to have you with us.
Thank you.
That's really great. Excellent. Okay, well, what I thought I'd do now, just for a few moments, is just share with you something that happened the other day. I put a post on Facebook. Some of you might have seen it. Share my screen again. Bear with me a moment while I get my page here. Okay, so share screen. There we go. I think Scott saw this. Don't know if anybody else did or not, but it just came to my mind to put this post on Facebook. What's the first thing you'd do if you could quit your job but still receive full pay? It's quite an interesting response, actually. Got a nice message from Big Al himself. Not sure if it's here. Can you see that there? Tom Schreiter. He said, I like this question. And then I had a few other people responding. It's a friend of mine. Well, it depends on how many months I will remain on full pay. And I said, how about for the next 20 years at least? So didn't get any more response from him. This guy, Stephen Burke, said that will make people think. This is one of my wife's relatives. She said she'd go somewhere warmer. I think she meant warmer. I said, yes, we all love warm weather. And she said, and I said to her, where did you have in mind? And she said, Brazil, Thailand, New Zealand, south of France for me. So she had a few ideas there. So these are all people that are thinking about what they could do if they didn't have to work anymore. Laverne, who's a member of our team, said there's a question. Now, Dan, who's a friend of mine, he said he'd concentrate on my marriage and life. And I said to him, well, you can do that anyway, regardless of whether you're working or not. And he said, yeah, but it would be nice not to be tired. So he obviously works very long hours. So here comes the Big Al subconscious mind bit. Would you like to do something about that? And then he said, I've been looking for ways to get a passive income to replace my wage, but so many dodgy schemes and scams I don't know. And I just simply said, then we should talk. And he said, can do. So I wanted to share that with you because that's, very similar to some of the stuff we've been doing on training each week, isn't it? So whenever anybody raises or comments on a particular situation in their life or a problem that they're facing, what's the first thing we should say to them when we hear someone moaning or complaining? Let's just throw this open. And we've covered this quite a few times, and it was also in that Facebook discussion. So who's going to tell us what should we say? We hear someone moaning or complaining or not happy about something. Cam?
Would you like to do something about it?
Would you like to do something about it? Would you like to do something? Now, why is that so important that we ask that question? Who would like to tell us? Angie, please.
Because we're asking for permission to find out more and tell them more, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. What you see, if we assume that they want to do something about it, we might be wrong. Because some people actually enjoy complaining and moaning. Have you ever met anybody like that? I've actually met. Say again, Gary.
You meet them every day.
You meet them every day. Yeah. So here's something that you can take away just from this part of the training this evening. Whenever you hear anybody complaining about anything, the first thing you should say to them is, would you like to do something about it? And then listen to their response. Because they'll probably say, what did you have in mind? Or yes. They'll probably say that. And if they say, yes, or what did you have in mind? Then you can go into the rest of the 4 core skills routine. Well, I just found out how to make an extra 400 or 500 quid a month working part-time from home on my computer. Would you like to know how it works? So always get permission from someone before you go into your presentation, because if you don't, you might be offending them. We always want to give the benefit plus, and then we ask for the permission. Okay.
I think, Phil,
Richard, please.
I think the importance of that question is, excuse me, it's primarily a closed question, because you're going to get one of two answers, or yes or no primarily, but then with the odd comment on, as you've just said, what do you have in mind? So the importance there is, with that question, we're giving people the choice of one of two answers, rather than opening an open question, which can lead to debate and obviously leading to a no and turn them off completely.
Exactly. Yeah, very good. So, it's so important that we stick to this routine in every single discussion that we have, because when we do that, we give ourselves the best opportunity to get people to respond in the way that we want them to. So that's good. So just as a reminder, we keep hammering this every week, the 4 core skills. Who would like to tell us what they are? There's 4 of them. Yeah, you can take part. It's quite okay. Scott?
Report, icebreaker, closing, presentation.
That's it. Yeah, very good. Rapport, icebreaker, closing, presentation. Okay, so I said last week what we would do is we spend a little bit of time talking about the presentation, the 1-minute presentation. Do you remember that last week? If you just give me a minute, I'm just going to share my screen with you again. Okay, just need to find the document here. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. So this document is slightly different to the one I showed you last week, but it basically works on the same principle. So we'll just go through it together. So, in fact, just let me stop sharing at the moment. I'll come back to that in a moment. I just want to ask this question. Do you remember, I don't know if any of you remember last week. I'll test your memory now. There's 3 things that people need to know in order for them to make an informed decision on whether to join or not. Now, this might be a little bit difficult for you to remember, but I wonder if anybody did recall it. There's 3 things that every prospect needs to know before they can join. I'm going to hold off with you a moment, Scott, but I will come back to you. Anybody else remember?
Yeah, what the business is.
What kind of business? Yeah.
What do we have to do? And how much money can I make?
Yeah, slightly different order, but spot on, Gary. Well remembered. So what kind of business are you in? This is what people want to know. What kind of business are you in? What do I have to do to earn the money in that business? And how much can I make? Sorry, in fact, sorry, I do apologize. I've got it the wrong way round, haven't I?
It's all right, Phil.
I'm getting old and forgetful. What kind of business is it? What do I have to do to earn the money? How much money can I make? And what do I have to do to earn the money? Let's get it right. So let's share the screen again. And the 1-minute presentation covers all of these. So let's just read through this together. What we can say to people when we get to the presentation part is, I can give you a complete presentation, but it would take an entire minute. When could you set aside a whole minute? Well, we know that's a bit tongue in cheek, because most people can set aside a whole minute then. So 3 questions, they're mentioned there. What kind of business are you in? How much money can I make? What do I have to do to earn that money? So I've got a couple of examples here. First of all, don't change. Continue recommending and promoting things like you always have done, like favorite restaurants, films, TV programs, or whatever. So this highlights the fact that everybody is an expert at recommending and promoting. we're in the utilities business, which means we have really cheap services like energy, mobile phone, broadband, internet, and insurance. Plus, we have a brilliant cashback card that can actually help you dramatically reduce your monthly spend. All you have to do is fill out a simple online form, and all that happens is that you get the same services you always have. They work exactly the same, except the bill is much smaller. Then all you have to do is get about 20 people to fill out that one online form so they can get a smaller bill too, and you can earn an extra £100 a month. And then the rest is up to you. And what do you think? Now, it seems very simple, doesn't it? But having spoken with people that have used this presentation a lot in the past, it really does help people to make a decision there and then as to whether they want to join or not, because it does answer those 3 questions. And so what we want to do is we want to become experts at using this 1-minute presentation. So what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to get everybody to practice the 1-minute presentation. Either practice it out loud yourself or practice it with someone who will listen, who will be as ready to role play it with you. Because what I want to do next week is I want to do some breakout rooms and put 1 or 2 people together in each room so that we can practice with each other. And what I want to emphasize is that if you do the 1-minute presentation enough times, I guarantee you that some of those people that you do the presentation with will want to join. It really does work because it answers the 3 questions that everybody needs answering. Now, we emphasized last week that we can show them the video, the company video, and that's really good, but it's vital that we watch the video with them. Sending them to the video and letting them get on with it usually means that they don't bother because life gets in the way, they get distracted. So what we want to focus on from this point onwards is if we're going to show them the company video, the earn video, we want to make sure we can watch it with them so that they can make a decision, or we do the 1-minute presentation and ask them, what do you think? And then all it's a case of doing then is just putting that 1-minute presentation or the video in front of as many people as possible. Now, can I just have a show of hands? Who was on the January kickoff, online a couple of weeks ago? Put your hands up if you were on the online kickoff. So that's about half of us. Okay. I'm sure those of you that were on there remembered Claire Hingot's presentation. Claire Hingot's the lady from Wales with the broad Welsh accent. Yeah. Now, can anybody remember what she spoke about? She did a little sort of selfie video, didn't she, for the presentation? And she was reminding us of something very simple. Do you remember what that was? Sue, please.
Just one is what I remember from it. Just do one thing a day was the message.
Yeah, just do what. When she said just one, what did was she really referring to? One what? Cam, please, you'd like to comment?
Speak to one person a day.
One person a day. Yeah, that's it. So here's the thing, right? Even people that have been successful in this business sometimes stop talking to a minimum of one person a day. And quite often their business slows down as a result. So if we could just speak to one person a day, every day that we're working, maybe we only work Monday to Friday, that's fine, or whatever your working days are, make sure we speak to a minimum of one person a day. If we can speak to more, that's better. That's better, and 3 or 4 is even better. But let's have a goal of speaking to a minimum of one person a day and using the 4 core skills with those people and ending with the 1-minute presentation. Once we all become experts in this, I guarantee you that our businesses will grow a lot quicker. It's just a question of learning the 4 skills, and they're not difficult to learn. Most of you are doing it to a certain degree now anyway. The final piece of this jigsaw is the 1-minute presentation, which I want us all to become good at. And that's what we'll be focusing on in the next few weeks. Scott, please.
I've done the 4 core skills and a 1-minute presentation last week and got a new partner for it.
Did you really? Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Excellent. So you've got someone to teach the 4 core skills to now as well. So things multiply. That's great. Excellent. Good stuff. So let's keep all of that in mind. So we're coming to the end of the call now. I've just got a few announcements I want to share with you. Did anybody notice I put on the UW Conquerors group an image of the Which Magazine survey that UW came out as the top overall energy supplier in the UK, which I think is absolutely brilliant. So we can show that to our potential customers and partners that UW are really highly rated by Which Magazine, or they always have been, in fact. If you haven't yet booked for Power Up, it's on the 20th and 21st of April up in Telford, Saturday and Sunday, same programme on both days. So if you can book to go to Power Up, well, in fact, I would strongly encourage you to be there because it's our big event of the year. And I'll be attending on the Saturday. But, you know, if you can make it either day, that's fine. But I'd love to see you there on the Saturday if you could make it. And then for those of you in the Milton Keynes area, I know Joe already knows about this. And Sue as well. We've got our big meeting with Stuart Whaley Montgomery, the regional manager for UW. And we're going to meet up with him on Friday morning at 11 o'clock for a couple of hours training on neighbour letters and how to do cold calls. For those of you that are brave enough to do it, you're welcome to join us at 11 a.m. In Thurston Lakes at the Hungry Horse pub. We're going to have a meeting there for a couple of hours before we get going. So if any of you weren't aware of that, you're welcome to join us. There's about 20 of us so far, but there's room for a few more. Okay, I think that's it. That's just about our 3/4 of an hour up with. Well done for coming on the call, everyone. I hope you got something beneficial from it, something to take away. Please support the trainings every Tuesday at 5 to 8. And looking forward to seeing you all next time we meet. Okay, so thanks again, and we'll catch up again very soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
See you.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Speak to you soon.
Bye.